Imagine a world where magic is not just a tool, but a radioactive substance that leaks into reality, warping the laws of physics and sanity alike. You are Rincewind, a wizard who has failed his exams so spectacularly that he was expelled from the unseen university, only to find himself dragged back into the heart of magical chaos when an eighth son of an eighth son, a sorcerer, is born. But this isn't just a story about spells. It's about the sheer, unadulterated terror of watching a child with godlike power try to rewrite the universe because he's bored. Welcome to Sourcery, the fifth hilarious, deeply philosophical, and magically chaotic installment in Terry Pratchett's legendary Discworld series. If you love satirical fantasy tropes, ensemble casts, and stories that explore the sheer, unadulterated joy of watching ordinary people dismantle high drama through practicality, skepticism, and superior common sense, this audiobook will completely consume you. It is a masterclass in comedic fantasy, blending the visceral absurdity of magic with the profound weight of narrative causality. The narrative kicks off with the birth of the sorcerer, thrusting our protagonist into a race against time to stop a magical apocalypse before it turns the disc into a pile of ash. The atmosphere is thick with the smell of ozone and burnt hair, the hum of unstable mana, and the creeping dread of knowing that every spell cast could be the one that breaks reality. Pratchett excels at capturing the psychological nuance of wizardry as a profession of not doing things, making every avoided confrontation, every subtle manipulation, and every narrow escape from royal decree feel like a high-stakes gamble where the price of failure is not just death, but becoming a character in someone else's bad play. At the core of the book's massive appeal is its spectacular wizard versus sorcerer trope and the brilliant narrative physics dynamic. This isn't just about casting spells, it's about understanding the power of belief, managing the expectations of the audience, and using human ingenuity to outsmart enemies who rely on dramatic monologues and poetic justice. Watching the Coven reverse engineer the villain's plot, forge uneasy alliances with a band of incompetent actors, and completely shock arrogant nobles with their stubborn refusal to follow the script is incredibly satisfying. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the comedy to life, making the clatter of props, the shudder of impact, and the frantic chatter of the dressing room feel incredibly real and deeply immersive. But beyond the spectacular humor and the fantasy mechanics, the soul of sorcery lies in its characters and the heavy burden of responsibility. The protagonists aren't just magic users, they are deeply human individuals struggling with the moral weight of interfering in human affairs when the easiest path is to let fate take its course. The emotional anchor of the story is their fierce, unbreakable bond with each other, a found family bound by shared trauma, and the knowledge that they are the only ones who truly understand the cost of power. The audiobook format elevates these intimate moments, making the quiet conversations in the kitchen feel just as impactful as the explosive, heart-pounding confrontations with the aristocracy. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. A major conspiracy reveals itself, targeting the very foundation of the kingdom, forcing the wizards into a desperate, high-stakes confrontation. The finale is a breathtaking display of tactical brilliance, overwhelming improvisation, and raw, unbridled courage. They must use every hidden trick, every overloaded trap, and every ounce of their will to hold the line against an unstoppable tide of privilege and power. The payoff is spectacular, delivering a massive, paradigm-shifting victory that proves humanity's greatest weapon isn't its magic, it's its refusal to give up on each other. Sourcery is a triumph of the satirical fantasy genre. It is smart, funny, and unapologetically intense. Terry Pratchett has crafted a novel that perfectly captures the thrill of the ultimate underdog holding the line against the establishment. Plug in your headphones, check your badge, and join the watch. The city is dangerous, but they're here to stay.